Barbar's Celesteville Games by Laurent de Brunhoff. Celesteville had become one of the world's greatest cities, and this year was hosting the worldwide games. Athletes came from all over to compete. Barbar's children, now grown up, went to see the warm-ups and practices. Palm and Isabel loved swimming and diving best. Flora and Alexander liked the track and field events and gymnastics. Who would have thought the hippos were almost as good at the high bar as elephants? Or that lions and tigers could be as graceful as they were strong and swift? Flora especially liked to watch the pole vaulter from Mirza. She admired how he gathered his strength and then hurled himself into the air and over the bar. Every day, Flora went to his practices, and one day even brought her mother Celeste. "Don't you think he's handsome?" Flora asked. "Well," replied Celeste, "he is Mersey, and the Merseys have small ears." "I think his ears are cute," said Flora. That afternoon, Flora was in the park. The pole vaulter walked up while texting and sat beside her. When he was finished, he noticed her and said, "It's you!" "It's you," replied Flora. "I've seen you jump. I've seen you in the stands." "You saw me? With all those people? You shine like a star," he said. "Will you tell me your name?" "Mine is Coradander. Cory for short." "Coradander, that's a nice name. Mine is Flora." "Flora, beautiful as a flower, shining like a star." The games opened officially that evening and the athletes paraded. When Cory passed Flora and her family, he dipped the Mersey flag in salute. "What a handsome boy," said Barbar. "Mom thinks his ears are too small," said Flora. "Well," said Celeste, "he is Mersey, and the Merseys have small ears. But I'm getting used to them, dear." The next day, Flora watched gymnastics, diving, and a bicycle race, but the thought of Cory wrapped itself around everything she saw. She couldn't wait to be with him again. Cory, too, kept thinking of Flora. He said to himself, "I must do well for my country, but I also want to do well for Flora." Whenever he could get away, Cory took Flora for walks in the park. They talked for hours about what they had done in the past and what they would want to do in the future. "I want to be a doctor," said Cory. "I want to be an artist," said Flora. For Cory's main event, Flora was in the stand shouting, "Go Mirza! Go Mirza!" She waved the Mersey flag. Many from Celesteville were surprised to see that the princess was backing another country's athlete. "Is this okay?" Celeste asked Barbar. "Should the princess of Celesteville cheer for another country?" "I think it's love," said Barbar. "I think it would be good for all of us." After the games, Flora invited Cory for dinner with her family. She was so nervous that she made the cooks nervous too. One of them dropped a chicken in the cake batter. Flora set the tables with the knives on the left and the forks on the right. "This is going to be a disaster," she cried. "Don't be silly," her mother replied. "Remember, Cory will be as nervous as you. You must put him at ease." Celeste was right. Cory's knees trembled as he stood at the front door. But as soon as he saw Flora, he felt fine. Her brothers and sister welcomed him like a hero. "The athlete of the games! Wow, I can't believe how high you jumped." Soon he forgot that he had been nervous at all. It was like being with his own family. The evening was a great success. On Sunday, Flora and Cory went for a picnic. After eating, they lay on their backs looking at the sky. "Check out that cloud, Flora," Cory said. Flora looked where Cory was pointing. "It's skywriting," she said. As they watched, a little plane looped and dipped and sprouted clouds that spelled out, "Flora, marry me." Flora smiled and said, "Is that a question or an order?" Cory replied, "It is an idea about our future, which I hope you share." "I do share it," Flora said, "and I will marry you." The news of Flora's engagement spread quickly through Celesteville. Everyone was excited, especially Barbar and Celeste. Sophia the monkey photographed Cory and Flora for the Celesteville News. Many others wanted pictures of the happy couple too. But Cory worried that his parents would not be happy to learn of his engagement. They had always wanted him to marry a girl from Morza. Finally, he video called them and told them the news. He introduced them to Flora and her parents. It's true we wanted Coridander to marry a girl from Morza, said his father, but now that we met you, Flora, how could we not love you? You are our princess in every way. However, said Cori's mother, you would make us very happy if you had a Morzi wedding. With pleasure, said Flora. The people of Celesteville all tried to contribute to Flora's wedding. Some helped sew the Morzi robes and dresses, others prepared food or music. Still, others picked flowers for garlands and gathered petals to throw in the air. Everyone was invited. Many guests traveled from Morza. Entertainers and helpers came from Morza too, some with magnificent Morza candles to light the way for the wedding procession. Finally, Corey's parents arrived, and the festivities could begin. Corey rode in a carriage pulled by giraffes. His family, Flora's family, and many of the friends and guests danced around him as he was carried to his bride. Flora waited for him on the stage, dressed in red, the color worn by Morzi brides. Corey threw a garland of flowers over her head, and she did the same to him. A blessing was said. They sat on the stage, and the wedding guests came one by one to congratulate them. Flora and Corey sat there for hours, because everyone wanted to wish them well. The boys of Celesteville had planned a surprise. At the end of the reception, an enormous flock appeared, towing a giant basket in which the new couple would be flown to the honeymoon spot. After hugging their families goodbye, Flora and Corey climbed into the basket and were transported in style and comfort. And Celesteville carried on.